Hey there guys, we'll be choosing and then customizing a crown for my daughter. She has requested a crown, or a tiara, I guess is what I ended up making, and a wand, but we'll get to the wand later. So this is me deleting all the stuff I don't want, which is just personal preference. And then I'm going to ungroup all of it so I can change the colors for the heart and all the other little tiny hearts in the bottom and the little circles. I did choose a couple of different colors, and then I ended up deviating just a little bit from the smaller shapes, but I still love how it turned out. So here I am selecting all the hearts, the small hearts, and I am choosing the color for those, and then I'm going to choose all the small circles, and I'm going to choose all the colors for that as well. I ended up changing the circles to green later on, and as you saw, I just grouped all those together so I can move them down there and check it out. What I should have done, and what I'm going to do here in just a second, is I'm going to pull those back out, ungroup them again, and then just pick the hearts so that they are only the hearts are all together. And you can tell I'm having a little bit of trouble because for some reason my hand kept moving just a little bit when I tried to just point at one of them and highlight it and only that, and then it just didn't like it. It did it to me on the circles too, and there we go, all done. Look at that. So then we're gonna make it. Of course, gotta get all the mats ready and everything. So I basically just put the gold piece on the mat. Now if you look at it, the gold piece is actually really thick construction paper. I should have chose a little bit more pressure, but I didn't, and I did have to do a little bit of cutting and adjusting later on, but you'll see that in just a second. So the machine's cutting out just fine, no problem at all. It did, but yet it still didn't cut all the way through in some spots. Like I said, I should have put a little more pressure to it, but I didn't, which I'll fix later with the razor blade, so no big deal at all. I love the razor blade that Cricut has out there. It's really easy to use, and it has very small razor blade, so you can really get in there and do all the edging and everything really nicely. So here we go, it's all done cutting it out, and as you can see, I flip over the mat and I take it off upside down so I don't bend the paper, because that is never fun. And here I am struggling just a little bit, as I'm sure you can tell, because all that should have probably stayed on the mat when I pulled it off. Oh, make sure you adjust your pressure settings according to the thickness of your paper, because it makes it a lot easier. You'd think I'd realize this by now. If you've seen any of my other videos, you would know that I have a problem remembering that sometimes, or being impatient and not waiting long enough, which is what I realized when I did the chipboard. But check that video out because it's definitely entertaining. Anyway, so here I am pulling the head strap on the back off, and there's the razor blade I was telling you about. Now, I always make sure that you are cutting carefully and that you don't do that, because that's not safe. So I ended up putting it on the mat so that I could cut and not mess up my desk, because that's never good. And there's my face. Look at that. I should have shaved. My goodness gracious. Anyways, so here I am moving on to the larger heart. Machine's going to cut it out really fast, quick and easy. Again, this is a really strong, thick paper, so I should have done more pressure again, but it's just the ongoing trend here. And this one I just pulled the paper off because I realized it didn't cut all the way through enough for it just to come off, so I didn't have to worry about it making the heart all bent or disfigured because it's a smaller shape, and you don't really have to worry about that too much with the smaller shapes. So now we're cutting out the other even smaller shapes. There's the purple hearts, and then it's going to do the other ones here in a minute. Now I just use a little scraper tool to just scrape that off, and nope, there's the green now. So I push the green down really good, and then I let it cut it all out. And then I got my handy dandy little scraper here and scraped all the rest of them off. Now I'm going to assemble the crown, but make sure you guys always put the little plastic stuff back on your mat, because it is good thing to keep that sticky, because it could mess it up. So there I am. I assembled the crown. I just have to let the glue dry now. That's what it looked like in the computer, and this is what it looks like after it's all done. I'd say I did a pretty smashing job. And there it is after it's all completely put together. It's very easy. I actually used a little bit of hot glue there to keep it all together. Okay, and now we're gonna find and customize the perfect wand for my daughter. She'll love it. So, kept on looking here and there and everywhere, typed in different wand this and different wand that, and princess wand and fairy wand, and I finally found it. I can't remember what I typed in, but I finally found the wand that we wanted, and it was just perfect. Had a bunch of little shapes of hearts and little stars and stuff in there, so it really made it nice, and it was pretty, and it kind of matched the tiara pretty well, actually. Oh, look, there it is. I just ended up picking the first one. My daughter's sitting right next to me right now, actually. She's helping me point. You just saw her hand there point at it. She says, I want that one. So I made it a little bigger so I could see everything. Then I ended up ungrouping it all so that I could make all the stars and the hearts and everything more condensed so you don't waste as much paper. So anyways, I ended up forgetting to set the pressure a little bit harder again, but I guess that's just a common trend for me. Oh well, but it cut it out all really quickly and really nicely, and it did an awesome job, just like Cricut always does. I'm always very pleased with how it works out. When it messes up, it's usually because of me, so good times. So here is the paper that the wand was cut out of, as well as the stars that came with the same color as that. And you can tell the wand just kind of popped it out. The little stars, not so much. Pretty happy with that. So I'm going to move on to a different color now. For those of you who did not know, you can actually set the Cricut to go 2 times as fast. I usually don't like to do that just because I, for whatever reason, don't trust computers with doing that. And I always have that fear that it's going to completely mess up my project. But I guess if it did, it'd be my fault either way, because the computer's just doing what I told it to, and so is the Cricut. You gotta love Cricut, it's a wonderful machine. I know I do. It does exactly what you tell it to do, so as long as you tell it to do something the right way, it'll do it the right way. So, yeah, good times, right? And right there you can tell that hurts when you see that. Good thing it wasn't a huge project, I guess, because that would have been really painful and really sad. So there's take 2. I cut it all out correctly. Just like to let you guys know I do make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, we're human. You know what I mean, guys? So no one's perfect. All the YouTubers that you see out there look like they do it perfectly every time. They don't. Trust me on that one, guys. And here I am putting the plastic back on my mat. Always a good idea. Look at this. Magic. Booyah. Right there. Wow, that was cool. I ended up changing how I did the stars and the hearts and stuff because my wife and I both thought that it would be way too floppy and everything out like that. So speaking of floppy, look at that. That paper is not going to work for a wand, is it? It's just not going to work. So I got this cardboard stuff that I got from, of course, some Costco garbage bag box. Good times. Really thin cardboard. So hopefully it will work nicely. And oh look, more magic. Gotta love it. And right there, see, cut it all out with magic. And I'm going to glue it on, and then my daughter and I are going to decorate it. So here it is, all decorated, glued together and everything, and in the laminating sleeve, cut out some of the extra stuff of the laminating stuff so it doesn't burn it or any of that. Now you'll see right here after I finally get it into the laminator, the front edge got a little bit messed up, and I was a little sad about that. You see right there, I'm trying to straighten it out. Fun fact about the laminators, if you don't know, if it messes up, run it through backwards, because now once it's all laminated-ish and it's okay, it's not like all flopsy like it was before you laminated it, it will not get caught up in the machine too much. So here I am trying to do it sideways, then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it backwards. There we go, that works. And it worked out really nicely because it just sucked it through backwards. The only problem is the cardboard's a little bit thicker than the paper, of course, but it just had like a really thick air bubble all the way around the cardboard, and it was a little bit of a pain to get rid of. So I ended up literally using a lighter. Kids, if you're watching this, don't use a lighter. Get your parents to help you, please. And I just kind of heated up around where the air pockets were, and I just pushed the lighter on it because the lighter is also hot. And it did melt a couple holes in it, as you can probably see right there. But it turned out great. My daughter loves it, and there you go. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching.